All right, so this Knife Thoughts video is going to be a review of this knife, the Vosteed Morgan Series Chef Knife. And first of all, I didn't purchase this knife. It was sent to me by Vosteed. I actually reached out to them on Instagram about one of their folding knives and to get more information, see when it would be available, things like that. And they offered to send this. And while most of my videos aren't on kitchen knives, I use kitchen knives probably as much or more than my pocket knives because I do a lot of food prep. I'm always trying to eat healthy and lose weight, and making your own food helps with that. So it's really good to have a nice kitchen knife. So what is Vosteed? It is a brand that seems to be relatively newer. It is a Chinese brand. This knife is made in China, and it seems to sit somewhere between the really low-end kitchen knives in the under $30 kind of range, and the really high-end ones in the 150 plus range. So it's not the highest end knife out there, but it's certainly not a low-end knife either. Now, what are the materials? It has a 9CR18 MOV steel blade, and it does say that it is a 3-layer blade. So there's cladding on either sides, and you can see the pattern there. Now, this is just kind of a finish, but there is, the cladding on either side of the core steel. The handle is G10, and it seems to be pretty typical G10. One thing I did notice when I got it, there's a little bit of glue that kind of sticks out in front of the edge of the handle. And then another thing when I got it, there was one small spot of edge damage. Not a huge deal, not a huge issue, but just something I thought I'd mention. And then some light scratching on the blade here and here, as you can see. And interestingly, they seem to be somewhat aware of that. They said that it's probably from this keychain that came in the box. And speaking of the box, it does come with some nice packaging. So here is the box. If you open it up, you can see it has the logo, Integrity, Innovation, Inspiration. So very motivational kind of logo there. It does come with a what I think is called a saya, basically a sheath. It's kind of felt on the inside and just a pressure fit, and it has worked well for me. I put this in the drawer and it's not going to get any edge damage while it's in the drawer, and it does press fit into the box here. But the blade wasn't in the saya when I received it, so I think it's reasonable that this could have done that edge damage and scratching, and they did say that they're going to do away with that. But it comes with a little bit of information here. You can see this 1-to-1 handle to blade weight, so that's nice for control and everything like that. And then even though 9CR18 MOV steel isn't the highest end steel for sure, it does say that it has an HRC of 60 plus or minus 2, which is pretty good, 58 to 62. Good working hardness, especially for a kitchen knife. A little bit of information about the brand, and then some tips, the normal stuff, don't cut yourself, don't chop with it, don't put it in the dishwasher. And then you see there is a limited lifetime free replacement warranty. No worry, no risk. I like the sounds of that. So then there's a little note here from the, I believe, owner and the designer, YD Design, Yu Dong. So nice to have that little note. And I've talked about before in my videos that packaging does matter. Even though this isn't the highest, price tag knife out there, it's nice to get good packaging so that when you open it, it's a good experience and, gives you a good first impression of the knife. The main thing is that I do really appreciate having this saya. It's really nice because if you don't have something like this, you have to use a block. And for me, knife blocks take up a whole bunch of space. I'd rather be able to put it in a saya and throw it in a drawer and not have to worry about edge damage. And all of this together, the box, the saya, and in particular the keychain, really makes this knife remind me of another brand of Chinese-made kitchen knives that I have had several, which is Dowstrong. Now, Dowstrong knives are a little bit more expensive, it seems, than Vosteed, but you can see there are definite similarities. So you can see that the logo is made in the same way on the blade on both the Vosteed and the Dowstrong. You can see that they have similar, not exactly the same, but similar finishes. Now, I will say that the Dowstrong seems to be finished a little bit better, possibly. There wasn't any, glue sticking out or things like that when I got this Dowstrong. But that said, it is a significantly higher price knife. Also, this one is in the $100, $100+ range. So I see a lot of similarity between Dowstrong and Vosteed knives. So if you're familiar with Dowstrong, then you can have an idea of what this Vosteed is like. Now, on the use side of things, I found it to be really nice. I have used this to make some salads, cut up some vegetables, as well as prepare some meat, slice up some meat that I'll show here, and do all kinds of, the normal types of cutting that I do. And I find that, this blade shape, which is, nothing groundbreaking, it's a relatively common blade shape, but it's done well. It seems to be ground nice and thin. You can see that it's very thin behind the edge there. So it does slice really well, despite that little spot, and you might have been able to see it first right there for a second, of edge damage. It came very sharp, and the nice slicey grind and sharpness put together means that it does cut really well. It's also very light, which is nice. You don't need it to be a huge, chunky, heavy thing. And I do find that the grip on this handle is very ergonomic. I can pinch, and my fingers are well out of the way while cutting, so you can do rolling cuts and slicing cuts, and even more fine work with the tip there without any issue. So found it to be really ergonomic and also cut well. So I have really enjoyed using this knife, and I'm interested in Vosteed. I'm interested to see what other designs they come out with, because I would like to have more nice kitchen knives, better than the, again, like Walmart type stuff that's super low end. And I think that this fills a good niche in that it's not overly expensive, but it has a lot of those nice features that make it feel a lot better than, a really low end knife. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other designs Vosteed has, and I also am looking forward to checking out the folding knife once it is available. There's a new version coming of the Nightshade, which is the one that I was interested in. But again, thank you to Vosteed for sending this knife. I will definitely be continuing to put it to use, and as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and select all so you know when I post new videos. Check out my other social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere else at Knife Thoughts, and my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like this and knife-related topics. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.